Lamine Yamal, one of the best youngsters in the world, is taking the football world by storm. He has been carrying Barcelona since he was just 16 years old, who has changed from a future prospect and a super sub to an essential part of the club representing the future of Barcelona. Watching him play on the right wing with such confidence reminded fans of a certain Argentinian who destroyed defenders on a daily basis, Lionel Messi. And now the question is, if Lamine Yamal can be as good as Messi. Is this a based question, or is it simply delusional? To figure this out, we need to go way back to 2014, which is when Yamal started to train for Barca at the age of 7. This was when he began playing 7-a-side with other young Barca talents. But out of all of them, Lamine Yamal was clearly the best. His left foot was out of this world, and he could dribble past multiple opponents and finish with incredible precision. Even though he was the best among his teammates, he was not selfish and still often passed to them at every opportunity. Does this remind you of someone? I think it does. He quickly rose through the youth academy, becoming much better after each passing day. This wouldn't go unnoticed, as in September 2022, Xavi selected Lamine to train with the first team. He was only 15 at that time, but it wasn't until 2023 when Lamine made his first team debut. He replaced Gavi in a 4-0 win against Real Betis. He became Barcelona's youngest ever player. He wasn't good enough to start every match, but he was good enough to get subbed on and get some playing time. He wasn't starting games because Barcelona didn't want to repeat the mistakes they committed with Pedri and Ansu Fati. Fati was only 16 when he played every game, and he got injured regularly because of this. The same thing also happened with Pedri when he was overplayed in his breakthrough season, and so this is why Barca didn't rush Lamine Yamal, until they did. Yamal started his first game for the club on the 20th of August 2023 in a 2-0 victory against Cadiz, becoming the youngest starter for Barcelona and La Liga at the age of 16 years old. And to give you an idea of how good he is, the opposition fans gave him a standing ovation when he got subbed off. So it's fair to say that it didn't take him long to get to the top. He was named man of the match in his next appearance, and he was the youngest player ever in La Liga to get an assist. He was named the inaugural U23 Player of the Month in August. Lamine wasn't a simple young talent, as we are talking about someone generational. He showed unprecedented levels of maturity at such a young age, which is the main reason why Xavi has put so much trust in him. This is because his decision-making is so mature, even if he was only 16. So on the 19th of September, Yamal finally made his Champions League debut in a 5-0 victory over Antwerp. He again broke a record, becoming the second youngest player to feature in the Champions League at 16 years and 68 days old. In October 2023, Yamal extended his contract with Barcelona until 2026, and the club surely wants to keep him forever, as the buyout clause is €1 billion. He then started his first Champions League match against Porto, becoming the youngest starter in the Champions League at 16 years and 83 days old. But enough of this youngest to ever. What about goals? Does he ever score? Oh, trust me, he does. Listen to this. On the 8th of October 2023, he scored his first goal against Granada. He became the youngest goal scorer in Barcelona's history. Yeah, I just had to mention it. This kid is also still at school. Imagine having this type of life. In the morning, you get ready for school, go to classes and do your homework, but at night, you go to play in the Champions League and you earn more money than every teacher combined in a week. He even got the Golden Boy trophy, but wasn't even present because he was at school. Yes, he was learning about geometry rather than receiving a golden award. On the 25th of January, he scored against Atletico Bilbao in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey, and on the 11th of February, he scored 2 goals against Granada, earning another Man of the Match award. What about his international career, you might ask? Well, that looks very promising as well. He was called up to the Spain international team when he was 16 years and 50 days old, and he scored against Georgia on his debut. He helped Spain a lot in the European qualifiers, again breaking a number of records. He became the youngest goal scorer for Spain and the youngest goal scorer in a European qualifiers match. And now to the present day, we are asking the question whether Yamal will ever be as good as Messi, and the answer is maybe. There are 2 main aspects to this question. Firstly is the circumstances and the opportunities. Football has changed a lot since Messi was young. He scored his first senior goal for Barcelona at 17 years old, and his first international goal at 18, whilst Lamine scored both at 16 years old. Football as a whole has also gotten a lot better, such as the training principles. And now it is easier for footballers to be in good shape and easier to maintain that shape, meaning that avoiding injuries and having a good diet will be substantially easier compared to 10 years ago. The point is that Yamal has more opportunities to grow at this age than what Messi had. With newer technology, he will be able to develop easier than how Messi developed. But that doesn't mean that he will be better or at the same level as the Argentinian. Even if he does well, there is still the common issue of young players not being very consistent in every area. We should also not forget that Yamal is only 16, which puts a lot of anxiety and pressure on his shoulders to perform and live up to Messi's achievements. Because of this, Yamal can quickly be seen as a failure if he doesn't score or assist in a match. Lamine has to learn to cope with this pressure, otherwise it could be the end of this form very soon. And the second aspect is the team itself. Barcelona. The Barcelona which Lamine is playing in right now is nowhere near the quality of the Barcelona that Messi was playing with when he was just a youngster. The club was also not $1 billion in debt when Messi was playing, and the club had a clear sense of direction which at the moment cannot clearly be seen. What I am trying to say is that in 2005, Barca had a much better environment for the growth of a youngster than in 2024. This is why it will be very unlikely for Yamal to be like Messi, as Messi was just one of the greatest ever in one of the greatest teams. The youngsters of this age are good, but nowhere near the level of young Messi or Ronaldo who made fun of defenders on a weekly basis, and we need to stop expecting these youngsters to be as good as either of them. Having said that, Lamine Yamal is still a great player and will almost certainly be one of the upcoming talents in world football. So what are your thoughts? Will Lamine Yamal ever be as good as Messi?